Hey guys, today we're talking about the Assault class, his best prestige perks in patch 7, and where he's at right now in the game. Now, the Assault class has always been a very popular class. He's very fun to play. I think he's in a pretty strong spot right now. He really has been for a while. Some people malign this class, but he really can complete the hardest content in the game completely solo. He can even go beyond that with like vanilla plus difficulty, like true solo and increased spawns. That has also been performed on him, though that is a bit harder, and not a lot of players are doing that. Still, I just want to make it clear that Assault is a strong class. So like, don't feel bad for picking him, because a lot of people really enjoy to play this guy, and I don't blame them. He's pretty fun, and jetpacks are cool. Now, first of all, let's talk about Adrenaline Boost. After a perfectly timed parry or dodge, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. This was changed. This was a huge change from the public test server, where this was initially Indomitable Spirit, which was just a no knockback on gun strikes, and they changed this over to be parry or dodge for 10 seconds. This is a much better perk. However, I do wish this worked on perfect block windows, because it should really work on a perfect block. There's no reason it shouldn't, especially when you have classes like Tactical that have heightened vigor, which this one doesn't say it in the actual description, but this does work on a perfect block, and this one just doesn't, which is quite lame. Though, besides that, I say this is a good perk, and a lot of people still play with fencing, even though I just don't think they're very good anymore. But, you know, if you play with fencing, you're going to get the full benefit out of this, and dodging is still something you do all the time in this game. Adrenaline Boost, great perk, always take this, really good stuff. Now, at number 3, I would say like Duelist, perfect parry and perfect block windows increased by 25%. You don't have to take this, like this isn't mandatory, but, you know, the Assault doesn't really have a ton of good prestige perks to begin with, and bigger windows can help you in a lot of cases. They can just get you out of certain situations, and sometimes it can prevent you from getting frame trapped. So Duelist, still a good perk. I still take this. I would say it's not as good as the next perk here, which is Fortitude. Health increases by 15%. This is a pretty mundane perk, but it's also one of the best perks here, just because health is worth a ton in Space Marine 2. The lower your HP gets, the more natural damage resistance you get in this game, which is why, you know, I say this every video, but just in case you didn't hear it before, when you get shot by a sniper and it takes off 70% of your HP, if you get hit again by the same sniper, it'll take off, like, you know, 20% of your total HP instead, because you have so much more damage resist. That's why so many perks operate in this game at a low HP value, because you're stronger when you're a low HP in this game. That's just how it's designed. So anything that ups your total HP is making that effective HP even higher. So Fortitude, God tier perk, always take this. Take this on pretty much any single class you can for their prestige. I don't really know why they're just giving out health boosts like candy, but I mean, okay, I'll take it. It's one of the better perks here for sure. Now, the second best perk here, I'd say, would be Practice Aim. Range damage increases by 15%. If you stack this with your auxiliary arsenal here, which is secondary weapons damage increases by 20%, that's 35% more range damage. And if you stack that on top of your ample ammunition, which is any use of jump pack, reloads the equipped range weapon, and increases its damage by 50% for 10 seconds, you're doing like 85% more range damage for 10 seconds. That is a ton overall, and you will just pop heads with Practice Aim and Auxiliary Arsenal. I take this all the time. It turns Zoanthropes into like a non-issue for this class, and that was always something he kind of struggled with. Not as much as the Heavy does, but like, you know, well, these days, not the Heavy, excuse me, the Bulwark, but Bulwark has Heavy Bolt Pistol now too. So this just makes your Heavy Bolt Pistol better, and Heavy Bolt Pistol's always been amazing, so I would pretty much always take this perk. Now, if you don't want to take like a Duelist, you could take Scramble Targeting, which is if you are surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 20% less damage from ranged attacks, but like really, this isn't that beneficial. When you are close in melee to enemies in this game, they already have a higher likelihood of missing you in the first place, and a lot of times, if you're in melee in this game, ranged enemies just won't shoot you, because that's how the game is designed. That's how the AI is designed to operate. So Scramble Targeting is a little worse than it sounds on paper, but it's still beneficial. You know, 20% less damage from range attacks is like some of the only damage reduction this class gets at all. But really, I would say, as far as these prestige perks are concerned, there are only like 5 good ones here, and because Boosted Recharge, collecting an armor boost, restores ability charge by 100%, this is trash tier. Like, this is just a trash tier perk. You just don't take this. It's just like, it's such a non-benefit for this class, especially when half of his perks for like ground pound will like cycle into themselves and get you back your charge anyways, and like even the perfect dodge builds like Wings of Flame will also do this. So it's just like, you know, that's just how this class operates. I don't think boosted recharge is a good perk. This would be a good perk on Bulwark, but you know, they keep giving it out to the classes that already have ability recharge. And then on the note of other bad perks, Commendation, reviving a squad member fully restores jump packs charge in all armor segments. It's like, I mean, how often are you actually reviving a squad mate in this game? Maybe like 2 or 3 times per like a really rough match. And if you're playing with good people, they'll just never go down in the first place. So this perk could do literally nothing for you. And even if you do get something out of it, it's probably not going to be that much. So I just wouldn't take this over the perks that are actually giving you benefit the entire game. So if I had to actually choose here, I would take Adrenaline Boost into Duelist, into Fortitude, into Practice Aim, or alternatively you could just take like Swap Duelist for scramble targeting. But again, I don't think this perk is that good. This isn't even like as good of a version as the, what is it? Bulwark here has a 25% damage reduction from this, and they only gave Assault a 20% because they hate him. This is like some of the only damage reduction he gets in the whole game. So that's kind of like an odd point. I just don't think this perk's very good. So those are the 4 I would take. I know it's kind of lame that the Assault only has like his choices are really a non-choice because his other perks are so mediocre that you just take the good ones. You just take the ones that function. And Assault's still a great class, but his prestige perks are kind of boring. They're just stat increases. But yeah, those are the ones I would take. I think the Adrenaline Boost is probably like the most unique one here because that's like some of the only actual knockback resist this class gets. Though you can get things like Hammer of Wrath as well, but then you're giving up Precision Strike. I feel like Assault really just needs some like perk reworks or some of his tree moved around, and things like Commitment need to be passives. Like you shouldn't have to like build into a signature perk to use like a fundamental part of your class, which is like the jump pack dodge, because to actually like utilize a jump pack dodge build properly in this game, you need to build 1-2 perks into it, like minimum, because Wings of Flame makes it all a perfect dodge, and if you don't have Commitment, it's just worthless. Like Wings of Flame is a worthless perk, and you don't even get Wings of Flame. Like you get Wings of Flame at like level 6 here, and then you don't get the perk that makes it function until level 25. So if you're a new player, Assault just kind of sucks ass. And I will say Assault was one of the least fun classes to level up for me. This and Sniper were like the least fun to actually prestige to 4. But overall, I would say Assault's still good. It's just not very fun to level him up. But once you have all those perks, still pretty damn good. And I just think there's some movement to do around here. And if you have any other questions about like what weapons you should be using on the Assault, and like some of the tech with the block hammers and stuff, and block weapons in particular, because if you're going to be using a Thunder Hammer on Assault, you should be taking the block one, because block weapons are better than fencing weapon like 9 times out of 10 in this game, unless you're like a Bulwark or you're playing like a Gunstrike build with like Wings of Flame or something, or you just want to use like a fencing power sword. Because really, block weapons are just unexplained in this game. I'll probably make a whole video on that at some point, but I just want to talk about the prestige perks here and what I picked, because I like Assault, and I think he has some good ones. They're just a little boring. Range damage is always good, but I don't know. I would prefer something that's not just stat increases, something a little more interesting. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you like content like this, subscribe for more. Take it easy. Peace.